used to do a lot of hitchhiking. It was back in the 70s when I was in college. My girlfriend and I both drove school buses. This was during the period of forced busing. And I have to say, I never met anyone who thought that that really worked, but I digress. Several semesters, my girlfriend would drive my car to class when she had finished her route. And since the bus yard was very near to the highway that led up to the college, when I was done, I would just hike over and stick out my thumb. I always had pretty good luck getting a ride. There was one guy who picked me up regularly and even started bringing me a fresh biscuit that his wife had baked that morning. Good times. One time, I hitchhiked from Oklahoma City, where I lived, to Atlanta, where I used to live. I had some adventures along that trip, including being picked up by a volunteer deputy on a particularly scary stretch of state highway in Tennessee. Stay off the state highways, by the way. He offered me a taste of moonshine from a literal mason jar. I passed. That was the longest trip that I ever hitched. I did realize something I hadn't thought of. All the hours of boring riding along without even the benefit of music of my own choice or stimulating conversation. But one black man did pick me up near the Oklahoma-Arkansas border, and he took me all the way to Memphis. He was pretty cool. He liked to listen to jazz and blues, and when it got late, he pulled over and got a room and even let me crash in it. So when he dropped me off in Memphis the next day, I gave him $10 for the room. That was when I got off the interstate and got on that state highway and ultimately met that volunteer deputy. So stay on the interstates if you're hitchhiking. So when I could, I would pick up hitchhikers. Sort of my way of paying it back. I was, of course, pretty particular about who I picked up. I would whiz right on by anybody that looked like a serial killer. Not that serial killers really have a look, but anyway, they were mostly people that looked like I did at the time. Shaggy long hair, bell-bottom jeans, just short rides mostly, guys that didn't have cars going from point A to point B. I never had any trouble with any of them. I think one guy did steal a leather jacket out of the back seat, but never could be sure. My first job out of college, I had to drive to Dallas for some training. I hadn't planned on picking up a hitchhiker. In fact, I hadn't given anyone a ride in a really long time. But just as I was leaving the developed part of Oklahoma City, I happened to see a guy on the side of the road, young black guy, with his thumb out. He didn't have a backpack or anything, so I was pretty sure he wasn't going very far, just one or two exits down I-35. I thought, I'll just show how liberal I am. Give this fellow a lift. So I pulled over, and he got in. Where are you going?
Dallas.
Well, hell. Why didn't I just say, I'm only going a couple of miles? I could let him off, assuage my liberal guilt, and have the most of the ride in peace with myself. But I didn't. Dallas it is. And off we went. He didn't say anything for quite a while. I turned on the radio and settled in for the long 4-hour drive. After, I don't know, 20 minutes, I realized he was quietly crying. You okay, man?
No, I hate it.
Well, what? You hate what?
I hate it when God tells me to kill people.
Well, this was different. Something I haven't mentioned, About a year before this, I had been ordained on the telephone by the Universal Life Church. So I summoned my inner actor and turned and said, I don't think God would want you to kill a pastor.
You really a pastor?
I am. I have a congregation and everything. In fact, I'm on my way to Dallas on church business. I should add here also that the Universal Life Church gives its pastors a lot of leeway in what they believe, which is true. And I decided in this instance that I believed that lying was acceptable if it would keep me alive. So, how does God want you to kill people?
With this knife here in my pocket.
At least it wasn't a gun. I mean, I thought, I can't see someone attacking the driver of a car that's zooming down the highway. So, would you like me to help you with your troubles?
That'd be nice.
Let's start with who you are. What's your name?
Eli.
Eli. That is a great Old Testament name. Your mama must be a true believer.
Oh, she is.
I should also add, at this point, that my chapter of the Universal Life Church really had nothing to do with the Bible. It was actually a church of windsurfing. We communed with nature. Our motto was, the wind either blows or it sucks. I called my church the Fellowship of the Radiant Wind in the Azure Sky. But I figured that Eli might not understand the nuances. I thought I'd keep it simple. Why don't you tell me about yourself?
I'm from North Tulsa. Dropped out of high school and joined the Army. That didn't work out too well.
Where were you stationed?
Never got that far. They kicked me out of boot camp for fighting.
Bummer. What then?
Not much. Few jobs. Kept getting fired.
Why's that?
The voice keeps telling me to do things to people.
Maybe you ought not to listen to the voice.
I try. And it goes away for a while. Then it comes back.
Is the voice talking to you now?
No, not right now.
Good. Well, let's just ride. You like jazz? I got some old stuff.
That sounds good.
So I put in a cassette of vintage jazz, and we listened to that for an hour or so. About the time it was over, I stopped for gas, and I got Eli and I both hamburgers.
I can't pay you back.
Don't worry about it. Small price to pay for not being killed. We continued on down I-35. I played some more jazz, and he slept a little. It was getting close to sundown when we came into Dallas. I had been planning to take the 635 loop around the 4 or 5 miles to my hotel. Hey, Eli, wake up. We're coming into Dallas now. What part are you going to?
Mesquite. Is that on
Mesquite?
your way?
That's way, I don't know how far, way over east. I didn't want to chance agitating him by dropping him in Dallas traffic. No, not too much. Mesquite it is. About an hour later, I let Eli off at the Mesquite exit. He did thank me. I told him to take care. Whew. An hour later, I finally arrived at my hotel. It was well past 11 this time. I set the clock for 6 a.m. and just fell into bed. It didn't take me long at all to go to sleep. But I do remember telling myself that I had picked up my last hitchhiker.